How's it going, Rolling Hills HVA? This is Mrs. Heard-Hixon, and we are looking at one of the two comprehension passages for December the 10th, Thursday. So we're going to jump right into it. You guys know the format. We read, we come up with strategies, we go over the questions, and we're going to knock this out, okay? All right, read along with me. What do you think with your hands? What do you do with your hands on a cool day? You might tuck them in your pockets in much the same way a bird puts his head under a wing. It does this to keep warm when sleeping. Birds also are known to stand on one foot while sleeping, which makes them look like incomplete drawings. There are two reasons birds do this. They give one leg a rest, and they keep body heat from escaping through their featherless feet. You might say that birds are excellent energy conservationists. Okay, so pretty much this passage is talking about what birds do to kind of keep their body from using so much energy. Excuse me. Birds fly, which takes a lot of energy. Well, most birds fly, which takes a lot of energy. And also when they're tired, some birds generally still stand up. So to kind of help that the energy loss, they shift to one foot to give them a little bit of rest on both of their legs. Okay. All right. So let's look at our first question. The underlined words in this paragraph are an example of figurative language called. All right, so when we look at figurative language, once again, we have to look at what each one represents. A metaphor compares two things. Okay, a personification gives human characteristics. And when I say give human characteristics, I mean something that generally is not human or can't do human things, then we give them those characteristics. For instance, her shoes were talking. Shoes can't really talk, but I gave it a human characteristic, which makes it a personification. All right, a simile compares two things using like or as. Okay, so when I'm talking about a simile, I use the word like or as. So shine bright like a diamond, swift as a tiger or cheetah, something like that. And a hyperbole is an exaggeration or in everyday terms, doing too much. Okay, so now we know the four figurative languages. Let's go back up to the underlined words here. It says, it makes them look like incomplete drawings. What do you notice in here that is a key indicator of what this particular figurative language would be? And so if I'm looking, I'm going to come back and look at all of my stuff. It doesn't say anything about a human characteristic. It doesn't really look like an exaggeration. But I do see this word like here, right here. So that's going to give me my answer for what this underlined word is, okay? Let's go to question 2. The main idea of this paragraph is, once again, the main idea is the important part of what the paragraph is talking about. So when we say the main idea of a paragraph, we are pretty much talking about the focus of the passage, and that's kind of what we mentioned on another video. So it's the focus of the passage. What is the passage generally focusing on? Okay. So we are going to actually look and to see what this passage is focusing on. Okay. How birds conserve energy, how people keep their hands warm, what birds do with their heads, or how birds are like people. One thing I know for sure, this passage is not focusing on how people keep their hands warm, so I can mark that out and keep going. I know that for sure. Okay. Another thing I know that it's not focusing on, it is not comparing how birds are and people are alike. Okay, it mentioned it one time, but it's not the complete focus of the passage. Okay, so that leaves us with two options: how birds conserve energy, or what birds do to their heads. Okay, so you want to go back up to that passage and find out what is the entire passage about, not just one section, but what is the passage focusing on. All right. Um, Number 3. Which word in the passage is a clue how the writer feels about birds' behavior? Okay, so we have a couple of words here. We have warm, incomplete, and excellent. What we're going to do is we're going to go back up to our passage and find each word. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and look for, oh, I see incomplete. So I'm going to box around incomplete. I also see excellent, and I'm looking for warm. Oh, here's a warm. Okay, now we're talking about the writer. Okay, how does the writer feel about this? Does he feel that the birds are warm? Does he feel like the birds are incomplete? Or does he feel like the birds are excellent? And so we're going to read each sentence to help us figure that out. It does this to keep warm when sleeping. Which makes them look like incomplete drawings, or you might say that birds are excellent energy conservationists. And so, based on those things, I'm going to determine which one my author probably feels like. All right. Now, lastly, reread the paragraph, find and write an example of a metaphor. Remember, going back up here to metaphors, it compares two things. So you want to come back up to the passage and you want to look for a sentence that compares two things. Okay? Most times with a metaphor, you're going to see things like is in between of it, in between the two things, or something like that. Okay? Excuse me. You may see is or are. You may see pretty much generally those two things. And I see a couple of sentences in here, and I don't want to give them away, but look for is or are to help you answer this question, okay? Look for the words is or are. Oh, you can't see my drawing, sorry. So to answer this question, you're going to look for is or are, okay? All right, if you have any questions, you know you can call Ms. Heard or text Ms. Heard. 256-513-8064. Shoot me an email, rheard-hixon.rhshva@gmail.com. All right, guys. Till next time.